May I just say, I'm Tom Glessner, President of the Christian Action Council, and regardless of the continuing legal status of abortion in America today, we urge Americans, our fellow citizens, to consider the question, why can't we love them both? We disagree with those who say the rights of a woman in a crisis pregnancy are at odds with her unborn child, and we simply ask, why can't we love them both? The Christian Action Council will continue to work for the end to legalized abortion, but more importantly, we're going to continue to work to supply resources to empower women to choose life. And that's not going to change tomorrow. It's not going to change a year from now. It will continue on. That will be our position. We urge our fellow members of the pro-life community, churches in this nation, and corporations to give us those support mechanisms so women need not succumb to the pressure to have an abortion in a crisis pregnancy.
Thinking back at the beginning of NIFLA in our basement, rec room, sitting, talking, Laura came up with this one-liner that was incredible. She said, NIFLA defends and protects pregnancy help centers
so that mothers may always choose life. Hello, I'm Laura Glessner, and together with my husband, Tom, we founded NIFLA 30 years ago. But they were wonderful friends. They were courageous. They went out on a limb with us, and they were always encouraging us that God has a bigger plan for NIFLA.
Centers were being sued. Most centers were mom and pop, good people, doing the best they could with what they had and what they knew. People needed help. People needed encouragement. People needed to set the organizations in a way that they could function in a professional way.
Tom was rethinking the role of pregnancy centers, the importance now of focusing on pregnancy centers, because our avenues legislatively, judicially, and politically looked like they were really closing.
Along came a new friend, Tom Glessner. He said, "Bear Boy, I've got a new idea." And of course, when an attorney has a new idea, you want to stop and listen to it because it could be pretty important. And so I listened to him. He dreamed about having an abortion-free America. Wow, that was a mighty big dream. And I said, I want to hear more about this. And as we talked and as we worked and prayed together, the day came when I was able to just help NIFLA get a little head start.
NIFLA became an organization that was functioning as a Christian organization in the midst of a country and a world and a movement that needed that.
The Right to Life League of Southern California was sued by Gloria Allred, a feminist attorney in California, who sent some fake clients into our centers and then sued us for a bunch of things: false imprisonment, intentional infliction of emotional distress, practicing medicine without a license. The court held if we're even handing over pregnancy test results, we have to be licensed medical providers.
I witnessed what was happening in California as centers were forced out there because of a court decision to actually become medical clinics, get licensed under the state. If they weren't licensed, this court decision said they were practicing medicine without a license.
Tom came to the realization that even more professionalism and credibility could be gained in the pregnancy help movement, and more lives could be saved and changed if pregnancy centers realized the power of the ultrasound.
Our mission is not just to not be sued and pass out diapers and baby clothes in the process. Our mission is to deter abortion by providing effective services. So we launched our medical clinic program division in '96 to train centers on how to legally become licensed medical clinics, and in doing so, provide the ultrasound that is necessary for that mother to view before she makes her decision.
At that time, that seemed like a huge leap from a pregnancy resource center into a medical facility. But through working with NIFLA, that is where the whole medical clinic conversion process bloomed.
My name is Linda Murphy, and I am the daughter of Beverly LaHaye. Currently, I am the chairman of the board for Concerned Women for America. My connection with NIFLA was when our college graduate daughter decided that she needed to start a pregnancy center. And I was on that very first steering committee way back in 1997 when NIFLA sent us this big notebook that we called our NIFLA Bible, because it told us step by step what we needed to do to start a pregnancy center.
I feel like I memorized the NIFLA clinic policies and procedures manual. I breathed it for many years. We did open as a pregnancy center. And so even looking for a facility, putting windows in our doors so that the rooms weren't closed off, and having the client exit surveys to sign so that we had proof that girls were happy with their services and we weren't reinventing the wheel. Having NIFLA's backing and trust in all that just pushed us so much further forward.
I remember the excitement coming from directors and being excited about the help that they needed, and NIFLA was giving them that hope, giving them that help. All of a sudden, the mail came in, and I remember Tom was getting excited. He would go to the post office, and he was filling. These centers were filling up the box.
Women were bonding to their babies when they saw the pictures on the screen. Fathers all of a sudden realized, wow, this is my baby. So there was that aha moment when not only did the mother realize she medically had a viable uterine pregnancy, but this was her baby.
So we developed the Life Choice Project as a turnkey program, taking a non-medical pregnancy center every step of the way to become a licensed medical clinic. As part of that program, we also developed our Institute in Limited Obstetric Ultrasound. Since that time, we've trained over 6,000 medical personnel in the provision of limited obstetric ultrasound at a pregnancy center.
For a long time, centers around the country have had trouble getting the hands-on training they need after their classroom instruction from our Institute course. So this is an opportunity for them to get a lot of scans in a short amount of time. We teach consistency so that people will learn a method and the reason for their methods, and that they'll just have high-level skills.
So we've grown over the years. It's been an exciting thing. But the attacks have continued, and therefore our legal arm has been very important.
Our opponents, they still didn't care how professional pregnancy centers had become.
The only proper care, according to the abortion industry, is giving women abortions. And so anybody that offers an alternative, they're going to be attacked.
One of the biggest attacks was the state of California, which passed a law in 2015 that required or mandated that pro-life pregnancy centers advertise the availability of a free state-funded abortion and an 800 number for which to call to obtain that abortion.
They're going to make us put signage in our lobbies to tell them where the closest abortion clinic was.
NIFLA knew it was unconstitutional. And on behalf of our over 100 centers there, we sued the state of California. It went to the district court. We asked for an injunction to prevent it from going into effect, and we lost. We were shocked. And so we appealed right away to the appellate court, and we lost there too. We appealed it to the Supreme Court, and Tom was like, the Supreme Court's gonna take it. I'm like, Tom, they take like 1% of the cases that are appealed to them every year. There's 8,000 cases that they receive every year, and they take 1%. So don't get your hopes up, okay? We're waiting, and do you know, they took our case. They take 80 cases a year, and they took our case.
We were thrilled in the broader movement, you know, that NIFLA was taking the lead, and that they had the partnership of other heroes in the pro-life movement, like ADF, that would really help, again, protect now this basic freedom of all Americans, but particularly being under attack in the pregnancy centers.
All of a sudden, the vision made sense. NIFLA is playing a major role in the lives of pregnancy centers across the country.
The issue before the court is, can the government be empowered to force a charitable faith-based nonprofit, or for that matter, any group, to speak a message with which they fundamentally disagree? And if they fail to comply, fine them, issue penalties, and even close them down, because that's what they're trying to do in California to pro-life pregnancy centers.
Could the California beef producers force Hindu temples to serve hamburgers?
You know, if we lose the case, that's very well could be. How about the government forcing Alcoholics Anonymous to post signs advising their members on where the local liquor store is?
We'll hear argument this morning in case number 16-1140, the National Institute of Family and Life Advocates versus Becerra. Mr. Ferris?
Mr. Chief Justice, and may it please the court. California took aim at pro-life pregnancy centers by compelling licensed centers to point the way to an abortion and imposing onerous advertising rules on unlicensed centers that do not provide ultrasounds or any other medical services. Momentarily, my mind clicked as I, about 4 words into an alternative. I hope that nobody noticed that I was switching gears. And the witness of the Holy Spirit in my life was just this: calm down. You're well prepared for this. You're going to be able to answer their questions. Just sit tight, answer their questions, be personable, you'll be okay.
All of a sudden, we saw the doors of the Supreme Court open, and coming down the steps, there was Tom, there was Anne.
That was a great encouragement. At that point, is we knew that we won this. And he gave the thumbs up, and they did it.
It was an absolutely beautiful moment, and we knew that our prayers had been answered.
You know something, because of what happened today, I am very optimistic about what's going to result from this. California will not prevail.
So the last 6 days that the court was in session, we went every day. And so we're sitting there in the very front row, Tom and I next to each other, and Justice Roberts announces our case number. So we knew it was our case. And he says, and Justice Clarence Thomas is going to deliver the opinion. And Tom, and you can't go, yay, right in the Supreme Court, right? So Tom and I are like leaning into each other, like, yes! And Justice Clarence Thomas summarizes his decision, and it was just one of the best days ever.
Thank God for NIFLA and ADF. And they stood in our stead, and we could have never gotten to the next point, and we won.
NIFLA saves babies' lives. What more of importance could be said than that? Lots and lots of babies have been saved. Lots and lots of mothers have been rescued from a very dark place because of the work of NIFLA.
Tom and I never thought we would see the overturning of Roe versus Wade in our lifetimes. It was a tremendous blessing legally to see that happen in the Dobbs decision. But we knew our job was actually bigger now.
This is not the end. It is not the beginning of the end. It is perhaps the end of the beginning. We landed on Normandy Beach, but we didn't win the war there. The battle is far from over, and we're going to just keep fighting. That's what NIFLA is all about. We're going to fight, fight, fight until we march into Berlin and achieve unconditional surrender.
People were bracing for the end. Hell is where we're all reaching. This clash is all of our ideals, asking answers to those who have pray.